AskReddit by Yankee Vandal. What statistically improbable thing happened to you? When I was a teenager I picked up a hitchhiker, and then a few years later the same guy picked me up when I was walking after I ran out of gas. Never saw him before or after those two occasions. What the fuck lol. My friend had two sets of monochorionic monoamniotic twins, the rarest kind of twins, in back-to-back pregnancies. Identical twins that share the same amniotic sac and same placenta. Mono twins happen in about 1% of identical twin pregnancies, and less than 0.1% of all pregnancies. This is incredible and the most statistically unlikely thing on this list. IMO. I have identical twins. They're modi though, and the science behind twins, especially ID twins, as they are seemingly a glitch, has fascinated me ever since I fell pregnant with them. First got cancer in 1993. In 2003, they told me to get my affairs in order. I had 6 months. In 2021, they told me it spread to my bones and lungs. They gave me 5 years. In 2023, 2 years down and feeling about 90%. Fuck em. Just keep living out of spite. Got attacked by a robin in the morning, then attacked by a hawk 3 hours later. Weird day. Never trying that worms a million body wash again. Edit, and now this is in my top 20 posts of all time. God damn it, Reddit. I got a degree after aging out of foster care. I'm proud of you. Many years ago I had a terrible day where my then GF broke up with me. Then I did terribly in a final exam for a college class. Then I lost my wallet. And finally, as I was doing the Charlie Brown sad walk back home, some random branch broke off a tree as I was walking on the sidewalk underneath it, and the damn thing fell on top of me and hit me square across the shoulder and knocked me to the ground. I just burst out laughing because it was so ridiculous. This triggered an old memory from my uni days. I woke up one morning and a series of small things went wrong. Think spills, broken dishes, burned clothes while ironing, corrupted assignment file on my laptop, that sort of thing, one after the other, all morning. As I was leaving my hall of residence to head to my first class, I tripped and fell on the stairs. That was the last straw. I turned around, went back to my room, got back into bed and stayed there for the rest of that bad luck day. I have been hit in the head by live squirrels 3 times in my life, each on separate occasions. Did you have a hat that looked like an acorn? I underwent a surgical procedure called a stapectomy to improve the significant hearing loss in my good ear. Instead, I ended up completely deaf. My surgical end said this has only happened to 5 patients in the US. He was doing research to try to help me afterwards. I don't know how true it is, but hey, lucky me. My dad had his retinas spontaneously detaching. One popped off completely and the other was in the process. The surgeon told him not to worry because 100% of all his retina reattachments had been successful. The one that was in the process of detaching was fine. But after like 3 or 4 surgeries of the one that came off all the way, it kept popping back off, and then the surgeon was just like, sorry bro. I was almost murdered in a case of mistaken identity. A guy came chasing after my car on the highway, waving his gun out the window. He eventually got in front of me, blocking my car, and stopped his car and got out. He came right up to my window, pointed the gun right at my head, looked me in the eyes and said sorry. Wrong chick, then got back in his car and drove away. I still have no idea who he was or who the right chick was. When you see somebody approaching your car with a weapon, run them over. You can do all the legal shit later. Run them the fuck over. Stay alive. After losing an AirPod while skiing, I was able to find it the next run. I lost an earring diving in a deep mountain creek. I paddled in the water over where it fell out and I shouted "watch this" to my GF and dove down 10 feet to the bottom and blindly grabbed a bunch of tiny river rocks in my fist and swam to the surface and held my fist high triumphantly. I swam to the bank to my GF and opened my hand and it was there with the river rocks. Lost my house in civil court. Represented myself and won in appeals court twice. Since my case was unique in this state, my cases were published both times. Moving back into my old house soon. Edit. Sorry for the late response. Reddit suspended me for 3 days for spamming the case links via private message, so I've decided to put the links here. https://law.justicia.com/cases/court-oft-appeals-division-i/201/48903-1.html https://law.justicia.com/cases/washington/court-oft-appeals-division-i/202.53643-9-0.html Edit 2. Please stop offering me money. Just be a good person to your family and stand up to crooked lawyers and courts. Where can I read more about your case? Also, congratulations. I received my heart transplant after being on the list for only 7 hours. I had a friend of a friend in New York who needed an organ transplant. The doctor evidently told her you'll be waiting for a year here. Go to Florida. They have no helmet laws and year-round Sunday. She moved down and had a new liver in a few weeks. Hit by lightning. Sort of, indirectly. Lightning hit a tree near the wellhead while I was doing dishes. Exploded the tree, fried the well and gave me a jolt that made my metal fillings so hot they burned my tongue. Other than that, I was fine. Lightning hit a tree 20 feet from me, traveling through the water I was standing in from heavy rains, and through the metal cargo trailer I was also touching, looping through me twice basically. I woke up on the floor of the trailer with my dad and uncle looking at me like an alien dart. I saw an ad on a Pepsi case at a grocery store for a text to win contest to see Beyonce in concert. I figured why not, and sent a text and was entered. A few weeks later I got a text back from the same number that told me I won the grand prize. I ended up winning 2 tickets to Beyonce's Mrs. Carter World Tour in Brooklyn and $500 on a Visa gift card. Used the $500 for some bus tickets and a hotel down the street from Barclays. The seats were awesome and it is something I'll never forget. I had something similar. I randomly entered my name into a box on a Staples counter for an all expenses paid trip to Vegas, spending money, flights, hotel etc and won. However, I wasn't able to claim it because I was only 17 at the time. I instead received a $50 gift card. Back in community college, people thought I was dead for half a day. I was supposed to meet a friend on campus to go eat. I was running late because my dad wanted me to do something before I left. I don't remember what. I get to campus and there's this fountain, the kind you can walk through or run about and avoid sprays of water. Around the whole fountain is a bunch of police tape. So I kind of think, okay, weird, then I go to the building where my friends hang out. As I walk in behind one of them I hear them telling everyone else I killed myself that morning. Turns out that a guy matching my physical description killed himself in the fountain. Between that and what he'd said to someone before doing it, along with my appalling lack of punctuality, everyone thought it was me. I always thought the Mark Twain quote of "the reports of my death are greatly exaggerated" was badass, but I had never thought I'd have the opportunity to use it. What was their reaction when they saw you? My dad's birthday was 3-3, my brother is 6-6, mine is 7-7 and my son is 11-11. For non-Americans, dad was born on 3-3, their brother on 6-6, OP on 7-7 and their son on 11-11. Went to a county fair and found a season pass on the ground with my name on it for people in my area with the same name, and I know 2 of them. What are the odds of that? Apparently pretty high. Do you know Gabby Johnson, perchance? Deleted. My cousin was killed Christmas 2021 sitting at a red light by a guy hitting him from behind at 60. The guy had had 3 DUIs. Why was that guy allowed to still be turning an ignition key without a breathalyzer? Fuck you, Massachusetts. He was a great guy who made it a better world, taken out by a shithead with a proven record of making it a worse world. I had my car stolen from work and caught the thief myself the next day. My mom's car was stolen when I was a kid. The next day, my dad and I went to the drugstore and saw her car parked in the lot. She drove a standard and the thieves didn't know how to work the clutch. They didn't get too far. Unfortunately, the interior was trashed and the clutch ruined. I was on a road trip with my cousins in the 80s. One of them kept playing the same song over and over by rewinding the tape and playing it again. The song was Another One Bites the Dust. After 3 plays in a row, the driver pulls out the tape, says enough, and turned on the radio. Sure enough, that song was playing on the radio right then. Back when I was in middle school, I had my phone ringtone set to the chorus of Have You Ever Seen the Rain by CCR. My dad drove me to my friend's house to pick him up and I called him to let him know we were close. The classic rock radio station was playing Have You Ever Seen the Rain on the radio. My friend called back and my phone and the radio were perfectly in sync to the same song. Would never have known it was ringing if it didn't also vibrate and light up. Not me, but my grandfather. Weeks before his 93rd birthday, he was finishing a day of yard work on his farm. He tripped while getting off the lawnmower, and it rolled on top of him. Blades turned off, luckily. He was pinned under it long enough that he was about to slit his own throat to put himself out of his misery, as opposed to freezing to death overnight beneath a lawnmower. Just before he ended himself, he happened to see a crowbar in the yard that he dropped earlier. It was just in his reach, and he grabbed it. He proceeded to somehow lift the lawnmower off of himself with it, slide himself out from beneath the mower, crawl back onto the mower with broken limbs, ride the mower up to the house, crawl up the stairs, and grab his phone to call my dad. I need a ride to the hospital. I think I hurt myself. Eater. The mower was a riding zero-turn style mower, worth a Google if you aren't familiar. It rolled on its wheels on top of him as he stepped off of its platform. With gas and the machine combined, it weighed just under 600 pounds. He survived this incident, but unfortunately, it led him down a domino effect of events that led to his death this year. When a farmer goes to the hospital, you know it's serious. While attempting to get medical treatment, the DR's office ran a pharmacy report on my medical history and prescriptions. My terminally ill brother, whose full name was only 2 letters different from mine and we had the same address and phone number, was on a shitload of narcotics at the time, and through their search they pulled up his report and thought it was mine. They yelled at me and kicked me out of the office saying I was just looking for drugs. I was mortified and very upset, and they wouldn't listen to me when I said it was my brother and not me. I ended up calling the pharmacy board and they called the doctor and explained that since we had the same address, phone number and an extremely similar name, they had to search by social security number. The doctor felt horrible and gave me free treatment, and now he tells that story at conferences he goes to. It was crazy. So of course. Good for him for owning up to it and sharing it to train other doctors. Picking the slowest checkout lane in the grocery store every single time for the last 40 or so years. I, too, have bad checkout karma. It would be funny if it weren't so annoying. I once met a guy who had been born on the same day as me, at the same hospital, and we both had similar birth names. His name was the first 4 of my name. We also weighed the same, and we found out later that we were born within minutes. If I was 12:02, he was 12 o'clock type close of each other. Also, we were both born 6 weeks early. Same color eyes and hair. Our moms worked at the same Walmart, and that's how we met. We lost contact a year or so after his mom quit. Sometimes I remember that kid and wonder how the fuck did that happen and how the fuck did we meet? IDK the stats on any of that, but it's gotta be pretty damn low. I sat down once on a bench in a park. The guy next to me had the same sneakers, same pants, same coat. He also had the exact same haircut, beard. He was also eating the exact same sandwich. I was beside myself. I was on a train that derailed. Oh no. Did you die? This is the dumbest story ever, but the one time in my entire life that someone asked me if I wanted to buy a pair of shoes at work is the day, a few hours later, that the sole of my shoe came off. So yeah, I bought the shoes. Co-worker's husband bought wrong size shoes and not sure why they couldn't return them. Your co-worker cut your sole when you weren't looking. Boom, easy sale. I ran into an emu with a book in the middle of nowhere, Illinois. Where TF does an emu get a book? My mom gave birth to me after sudden onset of labor at 37 weeks and 6 days gestation. Had a C-section because I was breech. Born at 9:48 am. I gave birth to my child after sudden onset of labor at 37 weeks and 6 days gestation. Had a C-section because my daughter was breech. Born at 9:48 am. Seems statistically improbable to me, but maybe not super odd. My wife and I, both right-handed, had two left-handed kids. Which has around a 1% chance of happening twice. That's so interesting. I looked it up because my husband and I, both right-handed, have a left-handed kid, but we just have one kid total. Apparently, 17% of identical twins have one left-handed twin and one right-handed, and the chances of both twins being left-handed is 4%. Your kids both being lefties is more rare than twins being lefties. That's nuts. I've accidentally walked into a riot on 3 separate occasions in my life. How can that happen? Surely you can hear it. Was it a quiet riot?